Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, about the 3rd of February 2021. And I'm in the penalty box again today. I'm out here on my property. This is my patio, the deck in front of my house. There's my other house. These are my properties right here. I'm going to scan what I have for property, 2 properties here. You have to excuse that they're all tore up, but I'm replacing the irrigation system. But here I am on the signature hole at Sundance Golf Course in Buckeye, Arizona. I'm having a little trouble, technical difficulties with the camera. I'm on my patio and it's all tore up. I've got gravel and dirt and rock everywhere. I just put in 200 feet of PVC irrigation line. But the reason I'm setting my camera up like today is I want to share with everybody on YouTube out in the golf community what irresponsible, redneck, hillbilly, Mayberry, Dukes of Hazzard, Twilight Zone. This is a set of hee-haw, this place. Now, I have these properties here. They're high-priced properties. They're, I was told when I was buying them, they're premium properties. I'm overlooking the lake in the signature hole. Here's the lake. And I basically own this lake. In the evening, I own this lake. There's very little activity, pedestrian or anything else, so it's all mine to sit out there as I want. But during the day, we can't sit out here during the day. I'm going to be working out here all day, and I'm going to be threatened all day with bad golf shots, what I call foul balls. And we're having a philosophical difference here between what the golf management here at Sundance considers right and prudent and what I consider right and prudent. I consider it a failure of leadership here with the HOA, the town of Buckeye, and the golf gods who run the golf shop. Right now I'm going to zoom in. Now that all the carts are gone, I'm going to try to zoom in on where the men's tee box is going to be today. Okay, that men's silver tee box today is right there where that green box is. See that? That's about 50 or 60 yards from where I am right now. They're trying to hit a ball from there about 160 yards. They're trying to hit it 100 yards farther than what I am, and I'm just offline. Now this is the handcuffs that get put on me every day because of this antique layout of this golf course. I had a conversation with a lady on the phone yesterday, and I was trying to make an analogy of what this golf course is to the community that it resides in. We all have to understand, the golf course was here first. This was Field of Dreams. They built the golf course first and then started filling in with homes. So for the first 5 or 6 years that this golf course, until it gets sold out, and I don't even think it's sold out yet. It's 15, 16 years before they finally sold 1,100 houses in the senior community on the golf course. It took them 11 years. When the course first opened, there were no houses up here. These houses weren't here. This was all naked. The whole golf course was naked except for the models over there across the way. You see them houses over there, along there? Those were all the original models. And on the first day I saw this place, there wasn't one house up on this hill. So anybody that played this hole for up to that point until it was sold and built on if they hit a foul ball, they could walk up, drive their car up onto the lot, walk onto the lot, because there was nothing here. And this was truly a grip and rip golf course. Long, narrow, grip and rip. And the reason it's narrow, there's a huge drain component to the middle of this golf course. Between the 4th green and the 5th tee box, there's a big drainage artery, a vein of water that when it storms comes out of those culverts, and it has to run through the golf course. And that's why it's such a narrow golf course. That's why it's such a narrow golf course. There's drain relief all over this golf course, where they're responsible for creating drainage for the community. Now, not only have they ruined the drainage up here in Tract A in Parcel 12, they've turned it into a retention basin instead of a drainage tract, so that they could keep their tee box, their ladies' tee box. But what I want to get across to everybody is I deal with this day in and day out. Day in and day out, I've got golfers walking in my yard because they hit a foul ball from there. This isn't the PGA. And if I have children over here, I'm like a mother hen. Now, another problem is there's a tee box way off there. Your long tee boxes, you see that tree right there, those two creeps of trees? The golf courses refuse to trim them. Or I don't know if they refuse, but they ignore trimming them for 3 or 4 years. Those trees haven't been touched in 2 or 3 years. Not one cut is made on them. And they're in the way. You see that seat right here? I was giving a little 8-year-old girl a lecture one day, telling her that every time somebody walks onto a tee box, you watch them until they go by and hit their ball, because we can be hit by golf balls. I got golf balls in the yard all day long, thousands of them over the years. And that long tee box, while I was talking to her, because those trees are there and they're a blind, that we can't see the tee box, the long tee. So if she's sitting out here reading a book like she should be able to do, I own this property, I pay taxes on it, I shouldn't be threatened with encroachment. And encroachment is having that tee box right there. You know and I know that foul balls are going to be hit off there all day. I'm going to make the analogy of when Sergio Garcia was regripping the club there about 25 years ago, and he got the best page in New York. He did it all up and down the East Coast, and nobody said anything until he got to New York. And he did it on the first fairway in New York, and all the New York fans got all over him. Hit the ball, idiot. Well, I'm a New Yorker, okay? This is the analogy. Nobody here sees this. The golf pros and the people in the golf shop are willfully ignorant to this. They don't care. Why? What do we care? If one hits one up on your yard, so what? If somebody breaks your window, so what? If a little kid gets killed by a golf ball by a moron, and that's what we have here. We have golf morons. The human factor is never more present on the golf course. When you talk about the failings of the human being, put them on a golf course and you just multiplied it. There's ego, there's pride, there's everything else there. I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses, and that ego and pride makes them golfers play over their head. When they get on that long tee over there and they hit 3 balls each off that long tee, you got 1 greens fee from each of them, and I got a risk of getting hit, and people getting hit and my property damage 3 times. You got 1 greens fee, but I had to have 3 times the risk. This goes on day in and day out. This camera now, you're going to see me, I'm going to be working on and off. It's going to be on all day. It's going to be on all day. And we're going to record. I got about 6 hours of video here. While I'm working, I'm just going to leave this on. And we're going to see. Another thing is before I close, that if I have children sitting out on that corner by that flagpole, if they're sitting out there in a chair, the profanity that they have to deal with from these golfers, both young and old, older men right down from the teens up to old 80-year-olds, they all got the profanity to go along with every shot. And I have children visiting, and we have to listen to that profanity. And whenever that golfer hits a ball in my yard, and the old-time golfers that played here for 15 years, they think it's the old rules. They think it's the old rules that we're always here. I can walk in that yard. I can walk on that guy's patio. I've been doing it since I've been playing here. That's the problem with this one hole right here on the 6th tee. You got me so close to the action that I'm involved in your golf game with no reciprocity. All I get out of it is damage and fear of being hit. I've seen thousands of golf balls come in this yard. I've had confrontations with golfers who think that because they bought a greens fee, they have a patio pass to walk onto my patio in my yard. These are my wife and children. I never had wife and children, all right? I'm a single guy. I stayed single all my life. So these 2 lots are my wife and children. And when some young golfer pays 25 bucks and figures he can walk onto my yard, he's feeling up my wife and fondling my children, all right? I didn't buy this place to be threatened by golf balls all day. Now I'm going to leave this camera on, and you can see the performance. You'll probably see golf balls come into the yard, and you'll see people walking down this property line. People will be up here searching my property line all day. I'm in a fishbowl. I have no privacy. They have no business having a golf course up here. If you're going to have a golf course up here right to my property line, then start maintaining it. Trim those trees so that when I have guests or I'm sitting in that chair there, I can see people walk up on the tee. Well, I was telling her to watch every person. We were able to see that tee box, but we can't see the long one. And while I was talking to her, I heard a crack. The club hitting the ball. We couldn't see the people walk up on the long tee box. We can't see them hit the ball. We're blinded. This is my yard. Trim this tree or cut it down. And move the goalpost. Take those white stakes that you got on my property line. Show some prudence. Show some class. You don't have to win every battle. This is a pissing match. You guys have such an ego. You young guys running this pro shop, nobody's going to tell us how to run the golf course. Well, there you go. Here it is. I'm going to have this camera going for the next 6 hours, and you'll probably see a circus of swings. These are homegrown swings. And I'm dealing with foul balls all the time. And when I call up Andy and say, you just broke my window with a foul ball, he goes, oh, it was an accident. An accident, my butt. This happens day in and day out. I've had thousands of golf balls come into my yard followed by golfers. This is encroachment. It's assault. It's reckless endangerment. It's a failure of leadership at this golf course. Willful ignorance. I'm going to put this on the public YouTube. I don't think I said anything that wasn't true.